seal's holding. Good start for Pantry 2.0 tonight.
Yeah.
Raccoon Scouts are casing me like a snack bank.
You hear that faint rattle by the tin?
If they pass civics, we'll negotiate snack tariffs.
Wire in, chewed string problem solved.
Now the latch is clanging like dinner bells.
You hear that double tap by the latch? Great, 2 patrons for a closed kitchen.
Latch hush achieved, quieter already.
But those pry bar paws are bending my hinge.
You hear that low moan from the hinge?
Next move needs 2 hands, not sweet talk.
Hinge pressure drops, but my tin's almost empty.
You hear me counting? 1 screw? 2 screws?
Found extras. 2 screws crisis patched for now.
But those pry bar paws just popped my brace plank loose. You hear that brace plank?
Brace plank solid, diagonal bite, fix that flex.
But 2 screws weren't the only problem. Scent's leaking.
You hear
Vent blocked, scent plug holding, quiet again.
But I am at 5% battery and dropping.
You see the LED sag to 5% battery? Dawn feels far when volts feel shy.
Light restored. Battery can nap in the pocket.
But Lantern Glow just invited an owl to strafe.
You hear that whoosh spooking the crew?
Great, now diplomacy rides a stampede.
Okay, path cleared. Most of the crew peeled to the creek.
But one masked captain just pivoted for my pantry
Timer.
Gravel trick bought me a breath, but I clipped the propane tank. Now it's hissing.
You hear that sharp hiss near the propane tank?
Diplomacy just added flammable subtitles.
Valve sealed, no more propane hiss.
But my wrench just slipped into the creek stones.
You hear that clank bounce into the creek stones?
That tool owes me a swim. Got the wrench, chase over.
But Moss just flipped me into the creek.
You see this soaked fur dripping cold?
Not ideal for late night negotiations.
Ringing out, warmth crawling back.
But raccoons are pushing a barrel at my hinge.
You hear that hollow barrel thud on the hinge? Apparently they studied physics too.
Barrel stopped. Wood brace worked briefly, but now the split trapped my satchel strap.
You see my strap stuck beneath the barrel strap?
Negotiations stalled by wardrobe malfunction.
Straps free, barrel pried without wrecking the hinge.
But my green bead just snapped and scattered.
You hear that tiny tick-tick of the bead?
Note, accessories fail faster than raccoon patience. Bead rescued. Threaded back where it belongs.
But the masked captain just raided the decoy crackers.
You hear claws skittering toward the vent grate?
Diplomacy meeting moved to the noisier room.
Feeders place traffic away from the grate for now.
But
My pocket lamp just fell to 2% again.
you see that dim pulse, 2% warning?
Night stretches, batteries shrink.
Lamp benched. Lantern carries the workload.
But the flame's telling me we've got 20 minutes.
You hear that soft sputter turning urgent?
Schedule just shrank to lantern math.
Puzzle's working. Most of the crew picked the outside option.
But the captain just hammered my pantry bell. You hear that relentless beep beep timer?
Okay, treaty now includes alarms literacy.
Bell quiet, no more constant beeping in my ears.
But sardine oil on cloth just leaked its
You
story.
smell that drift luring the crew? Great, I built a perf counter for raccoons.
Sardine scent flushed. Creek took the bait.
But that heron just woke and made chaos.
You hear wings batter raccoons back toward the
Bucket block, entry sealed for now.
But dented rim just caught my fur.
You see me yank against the dented rim?
Door save, dignity dented.
fur free, hand back, bucket rims behind me.
But Tufts now started a sniff frenzy.
You hear the chur and tug by my fur?
Apparently my coat pays admission. Berries tossed, sniff frenzy diffused above ground.
But Barry slipped under and caught him below.
You hear that scritch under the porch boards? My peace offering just built a basement buffet.
Yes. Under porch scritch calmed. Berries swept back toward daylight gaps.
But a loosened porch board just cracked open.
Chest clamp on, crawl space gap shrinks behind the new mesh.
But I am officially down to exactly one last nail.
Last nail crimped tight. Mesh finally holds against grabby paws.
You hear the tin I bent from the porch board?
Trade complete. Nails tin returned with only a few dents.
But creek stones just shifted underfoot toward a risky crossing.
You hear tin clink while the creaky...
Tin recovered. Creek crossing conquered without another humiliating spill tonight.
But lantern oil just fell to an 8-minute hard countdown.
Foil stretch, lantern beam doubled across the yard.
But glare just flagged a ranger drone humming closer.
You hear that buzz over the pantry roof?
Diplomacy just added aerial observers.
Drones overhead. Porch crawl hides me from the lens. But raccoons just shoved in behind me, crowding the crawl space gap.
Tin Clang did it. Crawl space cleared a pod neighbors.
But Clang drew the drone spotlight to the porch.
You see that harsh circle painting my fur?
Lantern timer shrinks while attention grows.
Spotlight dodged. Creek shadow gave me cover.
But lantern wick drowned, snuffing out my
You see this sudden blank of light?
Lamp on, barely enough glow to walk the yard.
But Raccoon Captain's back, chewing the brace plank again.
Metal straps on. The brace plank finally resists teeth.
Okay, backup glow beats that 1% blink.
But wax just crawled over the pantry latch.
You smell that piney beeswax near the latch?
Lovely candle, terrible lubricant.
But I just exposed 2 loosened screws on the hinge.
Hinge tightened. Loosened screws no longer yaw.
But those hammer taps just invite inspection ping.
Display up, maybe the 5-minute inspection relaxes.
But the masked captain just stole my treaty board.
You hear the scrape toward the creek with the treaty board?
Diplomacy now requires waterproof paperwork.
Treaty board recovered and lashed. Message theoretically readable. But smeared ink invites a drone citation in 2 minutes.
Photo logged. Treaty board and feeder documented.
But the pocket lamp just blinked out at 0%.
You see the beam vanish to 0%?
We're negotiating by candlelight now.
Foil collar working. Candle throws a wider glow.
But a gust just threatened snuff within 30 seconds.
You hear that hiss chewing my 30 seconds?
Deadline number 4 tonight.
Flame steady. 30 seconds. Crisis dodged.
But that treaty board just triggered a loudspeaker countdown.
You hear the metallic voice start that
My
countdown?
handwriting causes emergencies now.
Inspection satisfied. Countdown tone softened a notch.
But the captain just built a ramp of crates.
You hear that scrape toward the pantry roof?
Ramps down, climb stop cold.
But crates crush my candle tin, spilling wax.
You smell that wax burning into dirt?
Darkness resumes its majority vote.
Glow restored. Pine shavings make a fair
But
substitute.
sparks just kiss the brace plank.
You see that smoke rising from the plank?
Nothing says diplomacy like small fires.
Fire out. Brace plank spared a fiery end. But my satchel strap's soaked again. Dragging.
Strap tied shorter, load feels lighter now. But the knot frays and may snap by dawn.
You see fibers splitting already?
Satchel secure, twine and wire working together.
But the captain's back, rattling the pantry hinge harder.
You hear that rattle fighting the hinge?
Snack diplomacy circles back to square hinge.
Vibration down, the hinge finally stopped rattling loud. But the captain just snatched my lighter under the porch.
You hear tiny claws scraping under the porch? Lighter retrieved, no fire diplomacy lost tonight.
But the shovel handle crossbar slipped. Hinge pressure's back.
You hear that hinge starting to moan again?
Door stabilized. The hinge stops wobbling under load. But the rope is fraying against the hinge pin. You hear that rough scrape on the hinge pin? Friction writes expensive poetry.
Sap's working. Fraying eases along the hinge.
But that scent just called everyone under the porch.
You hear the chur and squabble under the porch?
Apparently I invented dessert.
Peanut trail deployed. Porch squabble heads for the feeder.
But a ranger drone just called a compliance check.
You hear 3 minutes riding that speaker?
Paperwork meets peanuts. Perfect timing.
Tools stacked, yard finally looks orderly for the check.
But the captain's dragging my shovel handle creekward.
You hear that scrape pulling away?
Diplomacy fails at equipment loans.
Shovel's back. Rescued before the creek claimed it.
But Moss just slammed me down on my left knuckle scar.
You see me wince holding that scar? Comedy owes me hazard pay.
Scar wrapped, grip steadier for the next hinge job.
But my treaty board notes sit exposed now.
You hear the flap of loose treaty pages?
Wind edits like raccoon steel.
Pages pinned, silence beats paperwork in the wind.
But the tin lid's shiny lure calls raccoons back.
Shiny lure gone. Wooden slab hides my paperwork now.
But the drone just set a 1-minute compliance countdown.
You hear that ticking 1-minute warning? Snack diplomacy under pressure.
Checklist shown. 1 minute countdown didn't cook me.
But the captain just found a gap at the roof vent. You hear that scratch along the roof vent?
Diplomacy's hard when architecture cheats.
Vent block, skillet, and wire hold for now. But that clang kicked off a 30-second recheck. You hear the drone announce a 30-second recheck? Paperwork loves timers more than raccoons do.
Audit satisfied. 30-second recheck clears without citations.
But the puzzle feeder's empty and tensions rise.
You hear the chur around the puzzle feeder?
Feeder refilled. Chur cooled off quick. But they're drifting back to test the door latch.
You hear that delicate tick at the door latch?
Etiquette class moves to hardware.
Latch guarded. Doorstop and chime make prying uncool.
But a citation review just landed for Dawn.
You see that paper pinned for Dawn?
Guess I'm hosting court at sunrise.
Ground's tidy. No contraband left for the ranger's eye.
But the captain just flipped my bell chime into chaos!
You hear that endless ringing
Ring
in
the
the dark?
Chime muted. No more endless bell hammering. But the mitten scent lured them clawing close. You hear their scrape on mitten wool?
Bark padding works. No mitten lure now.
Creek.
Pot clatter worked. The bear veered off.
But raccoons took the racket as a climbing cue.
You hear claws on the porch posts?
My porch is now a jungle gym. Climbers slowed. Sap keeps them inching at a crawl.
But resin glued my final lantern wick.
You see this sticky wick wasting away? Lantern's done. Foil makes enough glow to work.
But ground fog is rolling around the porch posts.
Bell maps up. Now I can track through fog.
But the masked captain just beelined for the roof vent.
You hear that distinct jingle near the roof vent? He's reading my map better than me.
Vent sealed. Skillet sits snug with Sap.
But we've got a drone starting in 10 minutes.
You hear 10 minutes riding that speaker?
Objective stays. No raccoons inside till dawn.
Pressure dropped. Feeder treaty calmed the crowd.
But I just spent my last sardines on collateral.
You feel the sting of that last sardines trade?
Sharing beats barricades, but it charges interest.
Pantry stayed closed. Treaty board logged. Audit passed.
But fresh bear tracks just ring the creek stones.
You see those wide toes by the stones?
Next
next negotiation may stand taller than raccoons.
Audit done. Pantry sealed till daylight.
But bear prints lead right into my berry patch.
See those fresh claws stamped by the patch? Tomorrow's diplomacy may require taller ladders.